bit different to the normal kind of bike that I sell. This is my own personal 2016 KTM 350 exc-f enduro bike. It's the standard bike, but it came with well, I bought a load of extra bits with it. I've been the owner from brand new, but it was registered to an old company that I had. So it's showing 2 registered keepers on the logbook. The logbook's in my name. It's got all of the original bits with the bike. So it's the original folder and manuals and WP suspension stickers and fuel injection filters and fuel injection wash cap, catalogues, owner's manual, power parts catalogue. It's got the original data tag information. I never registered it, but obviously you can do with that kit. It's got the original wiring for things like indicators and stuff like that, which never get put on. It's got the original horn. It's got the original keys for the steering lock and the little covers that go over the brake and the clutch master cylinders. It's got the original bar risers. I put some taller risers on there when I bought the bike to make it a bit more comfortable to use. It's got a rekluse clutch in it, and the original clutch was never ever run. So it's got the original clutch. You can see that's the original clutch cover, and the clutch itself, there's absolutely no wear on those steel plates at all. So literally the bike was brand new. I took the clutch out, put the new clutch in, the rekluse auto clutch, and so that's why we've got the brand new standard clutch in there. It's also got, I mean, it's got a spare air filter, that's neither here nor there. I also upgraded the cooling system, so I put a boyesen, I can't remember what they call, super cooler or whatever, and so that changes the water pump impeller. So that's the original water pump impeller. Very little wear on that. Again, these things might have never even been run in the bike. I can't remember with the water pump itself whether I did run it or not. So that's the original water pump cover, original water pump impeller, and this is basically the pressure valve, which I have replaced. Now, why did I replace that? I can't remember. Maybe a higher pressure valve. It's also got, so this is a little goes on the brake master cylinder. So it's got ignition mapping switch on there, so it's got a programmable ignition in the bike, so you can have different settings. So the standard, that's like full power and wet conditions or something like that. So that's the original that came with that. So obviously that's not on the bike now because it's been replaced with the switch, the mapping switch. Then you've got original under tray and chain guides, and then a couple of spare radiator hoses. I have a feeling that a couple of these are off an old bike that had, but they were all in the box with this one, so they're just going to go with the bike. What else has been upgraded on it? So it's got the quick release front axle. It's got carbon fibre exhaust guard. It's got fan cooling kit, so there's a switch in here, and basically when it gets to a certain temperature it runs this fan. I've run it with Evans waterless coolant, which you can continue to do, or you can swap that out. Basically it shouldn't boil over, so if you're riding in like particularly technical areas or doing tough enduros or whatever, and the bike's going to boil over, then the waterless coolant should prevent it from doing that. It's got an hour meter on it, and the hour meter is showing 112.2 hours of runtime on the bike. Now it's a 2016 bike, so it's nearly 5 years old, I think. And so it's, as you can tell, it's not done very much. I don't think I've used the bike for the past certainly 2 years, maybe even 3. The front forks were upgraded. I put Race Tech springs and valving kit in there. I ran a homemade, this is going to sound stupid, a homemade headlamp with LED lights. It wasn't the prettiest thing, so when I've come to put the bike up for sale, I couldn't find the original headlight, so I've got this headlight on it. Now with this headlight on it, I can't get the flipping main beam to work, so it is due for an MOT, the bike. I'm quite happy to take it for an MOT, but it will be a daytime only MOT. If you want to fix the main beam problem, like I said, the headlight does work, but the main beam doesn't. If you want to take it for its MOT yourself, I'll knock you 25 quid off to cover your MOT fee. You fix the main beam problem and away you go. What else was upgraded? So with the cooling, I've got a catch tank on here, so as the coolant expands and comes out the top of the overflow hose on the radiator, it goes down to this catch tank, which has a separate hose which once it cools down, it kind of sucks it back into the radiator, so you're not going to lose any coolant if it boils over. It's got higher capacity radiators on the front. I always rode in quite difficult terrain, quite slow technical terrain, so that's why I've done all of the coolant modifications to it, really. As you can see, it's generally nice, but it has got wear and tear. It has got, you know, bashes and stone chips and this, that and the other. This is the slave cylinder for the clutch. So with the Rekluse you get a different slave cylinder, and you get well, I got this slave cylinder guard, KTM slave cylinder guard, that was not designed to go with the Rekluse, and the Rekluse has got an adjuster inside here, so I've drilled a hole into the slave cylinder guard so I can adjust the Rekluse clutch easily. And I don't think anything else was upgraded on the bike. The rear shock was revalved as well. That was done with Race Tech gold valves and Race Tech spring as well for my weight. At the time I will have been 90 kilos, 13.5 stone, there or thereabouts. So if you're about the same weight as I was at that point, then this should be good suspension setup for you. Yeah, like I say, everything else was standard. It's got fresh brake pads in the back. The fronts are okay, I didn't change them. And I have ordered a new number plate for the bike because I couldn't find the original. So there we go. So I'll just fire her up. You can see her running. That's fired up without any choke there. And the bike is cold. You can see the headlight is on, but it shows on the dash. Maybe it doesn't. It was showing that the main beam was on before, which wasn't on, and as you can see, the main beam's not working. So, like I say, I'm happy to MOT it, but it will be a daytime only MOT. There we go, she sounds as she should. I've not ridden it for a couple of years, so looks like she's up for sale.